Since 2000, when tax breaks for research and development were put in place, a lot has changed. With each year that goes by, more and more people know about and use the incentive. Every year, according to HMRC's annual analysis, more firms file claims. But there are worries that this increase in R&D tax relief is not leading to more money being spent by businesses on R&D, as shown by data from the ONS. Because of this, HMRC and the Treasury are looking more closely at how the relief is given. This increased focus on quality means that there will be more compliance checks, or enquiries, as they are commonly called. Software R&D is a big focus for HMRC, and the way they review software R&D claims has changed a lot over the past few years. Additionally, we recently learned that HMRC has begun sending nudge letters to companies that submit claims for software R&D, encouraging them to review and correct any inaccuracies. This proactive approach adds to what HMRC has been doing for a long time, which is using its internal software team to help with questions about R&D claims. R&D tax relief is still a stable and generous tax incentive that works well for companies that create software or do research and development on software. But changes need to be made to reflect changes in HMRC policy and practice, and to make sure that your business is ready for an inquiry. Why is HMRC so interested in tax credit claims for software R&D? Compliance efforts are now focused on software research and development for a few reasons. Of course, the reason HMRC starts an investigation is unique to each case. Some cases are flagged because of a certain risk, or because the value or type of the R&D claimed has changed. For others, HMRC may just be finding out the facts without any clear concerns. A random selection process for inquiries has also recently been implemented by HMRC. No matter what started the inquiry, it always needs to be handled carefully. But the trend toward more scrutiny is happening in software R&D in particular, for a number of reasons, including complexity. Software is a very complicated field. The industry uses a lot of jargon and technical terms, so it can be hard for someone who doesn't work in software to understand how software has improved. Companies often underestimate how much technical information HMRC needs when they do an investigation. Fast-paced. When it comes to software development, technology moves forward quickly. Due to the open source way the sector develops, things that were R&D a few months ago might be commonplace now. In the same way, this makes it hard for HMRC to know where routine activities end and R&D activities begin. This means that it is up to the business to show that their project was R&D at the time it was done, even if the question is asked months or even years later. Coding. Not all code is research and development. Developing software always involves writing new code. But R&D only includes some new code. There is no easy way to tell them apart without software knowledge and an understanding of the concepts in the tax definition of R&D. This makes it hard to figure out who is eligible and what the limits of R&D work are. Diversity. Within the field of software development, there are numerous specialties and disciplines. This makes it harder to explain the problems you ran into with your project, and HMRC might not have a software specialist on their team with similar experience. Subsectors. In the software industry, it's hard to figure out what is truly new, because a lot of the most cutting-edge development is kept secret. This is especially true in areas like financial technology or fintech. This places the responsibility for these evaluations on software specialists, and in our experience, even the most talented software specialists aren't always sure in their judgments. Common mistakes in software R&D claims. When you think about how hard it is to develop software and how many misleading tax advisors are giving bad advice on R&D, it makes sense for this sector to be extra careful. Errors in software R&D can be divided into two groups: simple errors and complex errors. Bad advice often leads to simple mistakes. For example, a bad advisor might tell a company that they can claim for putting in place a ready-made, expenses software package. Or they could replace a paper-based process with some simple software. This would make their business more efficient, but it wouldn't add anything to the capabilities of software as a whole. You can avoid making these mistakes by hiring an experienced, regulated advisor who will keep you from making basic mistakes, or by reading up on the definition of R&D and the guidance that goes with it. These kinds of mistakes happen too often, which is a big reason why HMRC is focusing on the software industry. Complex errors, as the name suggests, are more complicated and usually have to do with how you explain your R&D projects and expenses to HMRC. At MaxTaxCredits, our help is based on making sure the information is evident, consistent, and makes sense to HMRC. In software projects, it's important to make sure that the lines between research and development and commercial projects are clear. Software innovation is always changing, but questions can come up years after a project was done. The technical staff of a company can be put under a lot of pressure to defend an R&D project that was really new at the time, but is now pretty common. Good records help a lot, and your R&D tax advisor's knowledge of the field can make a huge difference in this area and help your professionals do their jobs better. Many businesses don't realize how hard it could be to deal with HMRC. A few years ago, one of the jobs of the R&D specialists at HMRC was to help companies learn about R&D tax relief. But because this team handles so many claims now, the responsibility is now on the business to make its case for relief to be due. This means that it's more important than ever to understand why HMRC is asking questions about software R&D claims if you want to get a good result. Our specialist team can give you both technical advice and help you come up with a plan to solve the inquiry in the best way possible. From rising energy prices to soaring inflation, UK SMEs are grappling with a number of significant business challenges going into the next financial year. You can't control many of these factors. What you can control is how well you improve your cash flow, prepare for the unexpected, and make the right choice for your business's near-term future. This may be one of the most volatile periods in recent history, but we can help you meet your growth plans through tax incentives aimed specifically for your business. It's easy to speak with us. Click the link in the description to arrange a callback from a tax specialist in our team. We'd love to talk to you, so please reach out for complete peace of mind.